Hello and welcome to Thermomix Adventures. My name is Lisa Keegan and today I'm going to show you how easy it is to whip up some really nice looking canapes in your Thermomix. Now this can be done on a TM31, TM5, TM6 or another thermo cooker. So come with me today as I show you how to make these watermelon canapes with whipped feta and beautiful walnuts. So there is 3 parts to this recipe. I'm going to show you some shortcuts today, so come along for the ride. First things first is some parsley. If you don't grow your own parsley, it's time to give it a go. It's really easy. It kind of grows like a weed, okay? So really you can give that a go growing parsley in your garden. Chuck that in it goes. And if you don't have it, some dried parsley would also work as well. And then some mint. Now, I don't know how much a sprig is. I just throw in a little bit, all right? Next up, we're going to put the lid on, and I did make the mistake of I've just rinsed my bowl, so it'll be slightly wet, so this is not going to chop as well as usual, so learn from my mistake and start with a dry bowl, okay? But anyway, we will just continue, right? The show will go on. Let's keep going. So mine will stick to the side because of the moisture in the bowl, because I didn't dry it properly, okay? So I won't get a finer chop as I might ordinarily have done. A little tip to avoid that, number 1, you could dry your bowl, right? Number 2 is actually to also drop your leaves through the hole in the lid. So turn it up to speed, give yourself a little bit longer on the time and drop them through the lid so they hit the blades and they'll actually chop on the way down. All right, obviously be mindful that nothing comes back out the lid at you, but it's only leaves. Scrape down the sides with a spatula. Now we need 20 grams of oil. So in this goes olive oil it is. I'm making a beautiful dressing to go on top of the canape. So it's got a beautiful whipped feta. And if you can't do dairy, or maybe you're entertaining and one of your guests can't do dairy, a really great alternative is the cashew cheese. Okay, you could do that instead for on top of here. It would be beautiful. 2 teaspoons of lemon juice. Oh, by the way, I didn't scrape down the sides because I didn't bring a spatula in. Otherwise I would have, but anyway, I'll grab that later if I get a chance. 1 pinch of salt and a pinch of pepper. And then we're going to whiz this up and we're nearly done. So on with the measuring cup into the mixing bowl lid then. It's got 10 seconds, speed 9. Now while this is whizzing for 10 seconds, I'm going to try and dash over to my cupboard and grab a spatula. So let's go to speed 9 and off it goes. Alright, best laid plans. There's not one in the cupboard, so we're just going to go without until I have to scrape it out. I might have to pause the video. Anyway, transfer a jug and set aside. So that is our beautiful dressing in a moment. It's going to look much nicer when the greenery from the side is in the bowl. So give me a moment, I'll grab a spatula and I'll come back. Okay, back with the spatula, and I can scrape it down now, and I'm going to put it in a little jar out the way because this is what's going to top the beautiful bits of feta that's going to be on our watermelon. Now, talking about your watermelon, there's a couple of different ways that you can do your watermelon. So you can put it just a little ring like a cup and cut out little circles, or even a jar top would cut out circles nicely. Or I'm going to show you what I did in a second, where I actually used some Christmas cutters to actually cut out little snowflakes, okay? So you kind of got a couple of options there as to what you do as far as making yours look a little bit pretty. Now, I've also made this before where I have left this in the bowl, and I've done the white whipped feta with that in there, and it's lovely as well. That's kind of more for when I'm just doing it for the family as opposed to entertaining. But there's our dressing, okay? So that's what that looks like there. Now it says to clean out the bowl. As I made mention, I'm gonna shortcut it and not. So it does mean my white feta won't be as white because it's gonna have a little bit of speckle through it, but I find it doesn't particularly matter. Now, in with our butterfly whisk, this goes behind our high blades. So in there, find the high blades and put it behind. They even give you a video, okay? Placing into it 150 grams of Danish feta. Now, Danish feta is just a smooth feta. So a smooth feta is fine. If you've done my cheese course, okay, you will find a feta recipe in there and it is a smooth feta. It is beautiful. If you've ever wanted to make your own cheeses, do check out my cheese course, okay? Go to tmxadventures.com.au and check out the courses there. But for the ease of convenience at this time of year, I am using bought stuff, okay? But mind you, nothing better than making your own cheese board with all this beautiful food on with the cheeses you've made yourself. Absolutely nothing beats it. All right, that's going to do when it comes to the feta. It's 137, aiming for 150. 60 grams of cream cheese softened. Now, we don't normally soften it before it goes into our Thermomix, but the reason they're asking for it softened today is because we're putting it in immediately with the butterfly. So just to be mindful of that, okay? That's why they're asking for it softened. If you didn't have it softened and you're in a hurry, just put it in without the butterfly and then add the butterfly once it's whipped, okay? Now, I'm just looking at mine in there. I do have it one side heavy. I'm just going to even it out a bit. Insert the measuring cup into the mixing bowl lid, and then 20 seconds, speed 4. Let's do that. Keep an eye on your butterfly or a sound. Listen for it. Let's take this off so you can see what's happening in there. All right, just cleaning the fingers. I'm not entertaining with mine. I am feeding it to my family, so it's okay. It looks amazing in there. Don't go licking your fingers if you're feeding it to your friends, okay? Not unless they're really good friends. All right, let's scrape down the sides. You can see there, it's whipped it up, but it's also got a bit of separation at the top because of the stuff that came up to the top first. We'll just scrape that down, get it into the food. Otherwise, somebody's going to get more cream cheese and less feta. All right, lower the lid. All right, it's not going to be long. It's just whipping that up. While that's happening, hopefully you can hear me. We have our piping bag from the mix shop. We're going to put in the insert, okay, this part. Slide that down to the bottom. Put on an end. And put the collar on. All right. Now this is just to make it a little bit fancy. All this is to do. You don't have to make it a little bit fancy if you don't want to. You can just use a spoon and dollop it on. If you don't have a piping bag, you can check them out in the mix shop. These are fantastic. I've had this for, I've been doing this for 9 years now, so I've had it for 7 years. Most of the time I've had it since it nearly came out. These are great because they've got kind of a little lining on the middle, so it means they don't ever go moldy or gross, okay? And if you didn't catch what I was saying when the Thermomix was going, I was just assembling it. It's got kind of 3 parts, and these are interchangeable. I love it because also what it means is if you're halfway through icing something and you want to change the end that's on, you can just take this off. All your food's still in here, and you can actually swap your tip, okay? So I love these. Well worth investing in. Okay, so now we're going to put this, as I scrape down the sides with a spatula. Oh, we need to put some oil in. Okay, thought we were done. Not quite. 2 tablespoons of oil. So just be Jamie Oliver. Okay, or 2 tablespoons. It is tablespoons. In that goes. That'll do. No need to measure it. Okay, if you're measuring still with your spoons, it's time to break that habit. 1 tablespoon of lemon juice. In that goes. Again, see how I'm guesstimating? Guesstimating is fine. Then we want some salt and pepper, I think. 2 pinches of salt. 1 big pinch will do, and some pepper. And then I'll whip the lid one more time, and let's whip this through. If you've not done whipped feta, it's amazing. So give it a go. You'll find it on quite a few recipes. I'll leave that off so you can see it. And you can use it in so many different ways. So you could just use it on toast. You could use it with eggs. So often we will do a little bit of this with an egg on top, a poached egg, and some beautiful avocado, even a side of like a bruschetta type salsa, like with the tomatoes diced up and some garlic in there. Absolutely beautiful. All right, absolutely yummy. Okay, remove the butterfly whisk and transfer whipped feta into a bowl and set aside. So this is where I'm going to just change it up a little bit and show you the process of assembling it because I don't need it in a bowl. Back here, I have my beautiful stars. So all I've done is I've sliced my watermelon in 1 centimeter slices, and then I've used my star cutter and I've cut out my stars. Now, if you don't want to use stars, now stars, let's be real, okay, stars take a lot of space, there's a lot of wastage. It's okay, my kids are happy to eat it, but you may be making it for something else and you don't want to eat it, you don't want to, for the kids to eat it. A couple of things you can do. Number 1, you could use little circles, or you could even just cut out triangles or squares, right? Do little circles and there's a lot less wastage. But what to do with the wastage? Do not throw it out. Freeze it. Make it into beautiful ice cream or sorbet later on. Whip up frozen watermelon. It is amazing. You can make a watermelon juice with it. Okay, so don't let the leftovers go to waste. Put them to good use. So yes, you can see my little stars. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to pipe on those and put some dressing on top. So let's then make a bit of space. And I'll spin the little camera here around. Whew. You get to see my messy real bench at the back. There it is. Let's get some of this into the piping bag. Okay. Don't have a second set of hands for my piping bag. I much prefer to have a child here or a glass, and I didn't think I had enough to hold this up in, so that's normally my go-to, is I put a big tall glass here and I sit it in up like this so it holds it open. But anyway, let's do it one-handed today. It's beautiful. You can also see how you could make a decent amount of this. So this is actually not, you can see how much we've made. It's probably 200 grams maybe less than that. You could certainly just extend your whip times. Don't go faster though, because otherwise your butterfly will fly off. It's maximum speed is speed 4, but you could extend your whip time with more quantity in here and easily make a massive batch and just have it in the bowl in the fridge or in your bag like this. By the way, on the note of these bags, check out my cupcake icing recipe on YouTube, okay? There's a cupcake recipe, and what I actually did is I put the contents of the cupcake coloring. Now bear with me for a second and hear me out. I put it in Glad bags, and then I slid, it was made to actually slide 2 colors down. And you could do this where you actually dye half like a light green and half a green and actually have it so it's festive looking. You could do that, right? But where I'm going with this is what you could actually do is if you know you're entertaining and you know that you might be wanting to pull out more onto the table faster, you could actually put multiple Glad bags worth in your fridge, have them ready to go, and then all you need to do when you want to use them is chop a corner, drop your Glad bag into your piping bag, and off you go. And what's going to happen is your piping bag is going to stay relatively clean, and you've actually got them on demand. You can literally pull them out of the fridge, put it in here, pipe it on, and you're good to go. And all you got to do is do your watermelon. The little dressing would be easy enough to do a massive amount of as well. All right, so into the bag, jiggle it down, give it a little press if there's a bits up the top. It depends how good you are at getting it in there. I think the Glad bag idea is a fantastic idea though, especially if you know you've got multiple parties to go to and this is what you're just going to take to all of them. That would be perfect. Okay, so transfer. I'm just going to check. It's a clean and dry the mixing bowl. Cut up your watermelon. Use a cookie cutter to cut it. Put it on serving platter. Top it with 1 teaspoon of the whipped feta. Then trickle over your, some walnuts. It also calls for walnuts, okay? I tend to leave them out. We don't do walnuts here, but you totally could. That's why I've forgotten about it. And especially, I suppose, if you're going to a Christmas party with people you don't know, there might also be nut allergies. So you could just leave it out. I honestly don't think, it's not the showpiece. The walnut is not the showpiece. The whipped feta with the dressing on top, it's just a match made in heaven. If you've not tried this, give it a go, because it's also quite a healthy option. It's not heavy laden food, it's really quite light. Anyway, let's get back on task. Let me just show you this. So you can just, can you guys see what I'm doing? Yeah, so you can just do little star tops. And then, oh, that one went pop. That's what happens when you've got air left in your bag. You're gonna get some little pops here and there. Now, even not washing the bowl, I'm thinking that looks still really quite pretty. There's a few specks of green in it, but really not enough to notice. So I would be quite content if you wanted to make it, with the ease I have, you certainly could do that. Just fix that one up. Look at that. All right, so, by the way, this was about 1/4 of a watermelon. So those of you who, watermelons are in season come Christmas season here in Brisbane, southeast Queensland. So that was 1/4, we'll do that amount. So you can see that it's not that much. And if I was making in bulk, my suggestion would be to actually grab, if you want to do a snowflake shape or something like that, by all means, but smaller ones. Smaller are better. You only need something about that size, okay? And then do a whole lot of them and just line them up in a container in your fridge, ready. And you can only do them a day or 2 in advance. You couldn't do them too long because watermelon will sour quickly, but you could certainly do a whole lot of them, have them lined up in the fridge, have this ready to go in some Glad bags, ready to go into your piping bag on the day, and then finish off like that. Like, I think this would be such a great, well, it is, I've done it before, okay? When I say I think, I have done it. So now we just put some green on top, which just makes it look that little bit prettier. So come back over here. See if I can get you upright. Get that out the way. All right. Sometimes I wish I had a cameraman. or lady, somebody to do the camera work for me. So we're just putting that on top. A little bit of oil trickles down the side, which looks absolutely beautiful. And that's those beautiful, if you've forgotten what that is, this is the parsley and the mint. And can you believe it is that easy to make some beautiful, healthy canapes for your festive entertaining? So when you're thinking about what to make this year, I hope this is giving you inspiration of ideas that you can make. If you've got questions, reach out. If you've got favorites you make every year, put them in the comments below. I'd love to know what you do. You know, here in Brisbane, it's really hot, so we tend to not go with too much hot food. Hence the reason you are seeing the recipes you're seeing, because predominantly they are the ones that are great for the really humid, stinky weather. So, there you go. Watermelon canapes, super easy and quick. Give them a go in your Thermomix and let me know what you think. I'd love to know in the comments, have you made them? And if you haven't, time to give them a go and share your pictures. And also on that note as well, if you've got a favourite Christmas canape recipe you make that's simple and quick, share that below. Let's inspire each other with what our Thermomixers can do. But otherwise, thanks for joining me today. Remember to subscribe, hit the bell button to get notifications, and also share this with anyone you know who's got a Thermomix and needs inspiration. And also anyone who's thinking about getting a Thermomix on the bench. It makes a difference at Christmas time. Actually, it makes a difference all the time. But to be able to make good food with ease every time, it's just a game changer. So, otherwise, thanks for joining me today. My name is Lisa Keegan, and I can't wait to see you in the next video soon. And so I really hope you are enjoying this festive video session. So take care, and I'll see you soon. Bye for now.